what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy the
LSU, Nicholls. I have not rewatched the film yet. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, I'm not watching film on Sundays anymore this year. Sundays are going to be my kind of just chill and reset day. Tonight I'll do a deep dive, and we'll do our in-depth film reviews, probably hour 2 on Tuesdays, maybe hour 1. We'll see. But LSU wins. They beat Nicholls. I don't even remember what it was.
44-21.
Yeah, 40. There you go. 44-21. But even though you end up pulling away at the end, the damage was already kind of done in terms of how people are going to feel about this game. We said it coming in. This is that classic lose-lose game where it doesn't matter if you win. It's about how you win. And even if you would have won dominantly, it would have been like, okay, whatever, it's Nicholls. Instead, though, you come out there, and normally I say things – we used to say things in the Les Miles era, like, you know, or the prognosticators would be like, oh, they were playing with their food. This food – this food looked like some cuttlefish that could poison you and kill you. Like this wasn't just playing with your food. This was Nicholls kind of kicking your ass in a lot of ways in this game, at least early on. I mean, the linebackers and their run defense, the safety fits completely ineffectual. The fact that you come out of this game with Nicholls having 38 carries for 150 yards, you have 21 carries for 64. Averages 3 yards a carry. And even through the air, Nicholls finishes 16 of 22 for 145, 6 of 13 on third down.
At one point,
they were
fluky
things.
I know they were 10 of 10 at one point. I don't know if it got to 11 of 11, but Nicholls was 10 of 10 throwing the football.
And so these are not fluky statistics, which is why you come out of it and you're so disappointed. And yes, offensively, Nuss threw for 6 touchdowns and 300 yards. But my biggest issue was, Jake, we talked about it last week. In a game like this, you have to really care about the team to give a damn. And we were going to get granular about what we were looking for. And so what did we specifically say? Or at least I said, I want to see them stay committed to the run. I want to see them work out the kinks. I want to see them practice it. I want to see them find success with it. I know Kyron Lacey and the receivers and Garrett Nussmeier can have success against that. I know that. And I'm not trying to take away from his 6-touchdown performance. It's really awesome. But I knew they could do that. That's their strength. I wanted to see, could you improve on your weakness? And they literally got big dog to the point where they had to fall back on their strength just to find a way to win.
Yeah, there was one point in the game where you could tell it's like, okay, hey, we can't run the ball. So we got to lean on our receivers. And Nicholls was playing cover 1, which it shocked me. They're like, we're going to play man across the board. We're going to have one high safety, and we're going to try to keep up with you, which they couldn't. And that's why Garrett Nussmeier throws for 6 touchdowns. That's why you had all these receivers that were open, is because the offensive line, which didn't give up a sack, they were protecting the quarterbacks, what they do really well. Yeah. And then LSU's receivers were winning their one-on-one matchups like you would assume that they would. And Nicholls never really went away from it. That's kind of what they led with, and they stayed in. And so I understand taking advantage if they're going to continue to do that. But just like you said, T, you couldn't run the football. It's not like – you were having some success, but you were having more success in the past game. You couldn't. You could not run the football. And it's new schemes. We've talked about it. Like, you didn't see some of these plays last year. The running backs, for the most part, like you saw Josh Williams be a little patient and kind of understand it. He started to get loose a little bit. The running backs don't know how to read it, it feels like. They're not – like Caleb Jackson right now going side to side – does not look comfortable at all. Like, he is a north-south runner, which that's okay. You have a skill set, that's what it is. And I understand wanting to get him going a little bit. But right now, it looks like he's grabbing the football and just searching for a hole instead of going through your progression of your footwork, your reads, allowing the defense to tell you. seeing your blocks, knowing what your blocks are in front of you, and then reading off of those. I mean, there was one time Caden Durham got the ball. Look, he's a freshman, and we were all freshmen at one time, and you try to go 1,000,000 miles per hour. You can't do that at running back. You can't do it on a counter run. He beat both pullers to the spot on a counter. Like, you have to be patient.
It takes nuts, but you got to be patient.
It does. Look, you got to slide over. You got to take your steps, and then you come back, and then, you know, it's not at 100 miles per hour.
Shoot out once you see the
As soon as you see it, you put your foot in the ground. That's when you go 100 miles per hour. So, like, those things are surprising to me. Like, you've worked all spring, you've worked all summer on the new run game and the new schemes that you're going to run, but they just don't look like they're on the same page. And then because the tight ends were so poor in blocking a week ago, you move an offensive lineman borderline to tight end to try to just give you something. Like, so that just tells you what they don't have right now in the run game.
Where'd you go, Mac? Patrick Vine says, has the offensive line regressed? Was it all JD5? Well, again, I said it coming out of USC. It feels like an O-line that, quite frankly, just doesn't have a lot of experience in that portion, like run blocking, right? They're elite. I cannot stress this enough. They are elite pass protectors, like some of the best I've ever seen. But I said it out of USC. This reinforces it. When it comes to run blocking, they're average. But the thing is, how do you, I tell this to my kids all the time. How do you get better at something? You have to be willing to be bad at it. Like, you can't just be good at something. You have to practice it to get better, which is why this game felt like such an opportunity to go out there and do just that. But you have to give credit to Guggenheim and the Colonels, because they didn't allow you to, because they whooped up on you and they forced you to have to fall back on what you are good at your strengths, and you have to end up wasting an opportunity that you could have used to improve those weaknesses. Anything else, Jake, before we get to Brian Kelly's next segment?
All right, so the patience that you saw Guggenheim run with, I thought he was incredibly patient. By the way, if you're in the state of Louisiana, you follow high school football, he was a stud at John Curtis. I called multiple state championship games of his, and I remember saying the name Guggenheim so many times, and I was like, I'll never say that again. I was wrong. When I saw him on the roster, I was like, okay, I'm going to be talking about him, because he was that good at John Curtis, and his patience was incredible. And that's what we're talking about. And they had pullers like every single running play. That's who Nicholls is. That's who they are. That's how they've won the Southland. And he was allowing those guys to get in front of him. And those pullers, they were bringing the punch to LSU's defense.
They were hitting, bruh. LSU's linebackers don't play with great hands. Whit Weeks is good at it. But a lot of LSU's defense not playing with great hands right now.
It's like they kind of reverted back to what it was a year ago. Yeah. And knowing Blake Baker, watching Blake Baker on tape, no matter where he's been, that is not something that has ever been taught. That's something they got to get out of, because you can't, not certainly in the SEC, it's only going to get more difficult. You can't catch. You can't catch when you're tackling. No. You can't catch when you have a blocker in front of you. Like, you've got to be aggressive. You've got to, you've got to stone that blocker. You got to get him out of the way. And when you're tackling, like, you have to be the aggressor. Like, me as a running back, if I know that I've got linebackers that are catching, I'm licking my chops. I know that I can go right through them, and I'm going to gain 3 to 4, 5, 6 more yards every time I touch the ball, because I'm going right through you.
Yeah, exactly. And they were catching. They were catching all of Saturday night.
Wow, Jake. What incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.